President Donald Trump sent a series of tweets to Bubba Wallace yesterday, arguing that NASCAR's only black driver should have apologized over a report of a noose found in his garage stall last month, calling it a hoax and questioning NASCAR's decision to ban the Confederate flag from the sport. But Wallace took the high road. In a tweet addressed to, quote, the next generation and little ones, Wallace wrote, quote, even when it's hate from the POTUS, love wins. Shannon, what do you make of this?
Well, what Donald Trump, and he's acting like a football coach, going back to his best plays. Skip, what he's doing is that he's feeding his base because this is what gets them going. So you see, Skip, and we put it in football terms. But hold on, before I go there, Skip, I thought we were keeping politics out of sports. Is NASCAR politics? See, he brought me back in, so here I go, Skip. I'm plunging back in. I was trying to leave this alone.
You were welcome to plunge.
He brought me back.
The door just got open.
It did. Skip, what he's trying to do is that he's trying to distract. COVID has flared back up. Remember, he was encouraging a lot of these states to open up. Texas, Florida, Arizona. And now we're at levels that we're before we locked it down completely, we're at levels higher than that.
How well we know. Right here in L.A.
Exactly. So what he's trying to do is distract. And Skip, his base, they believe in him. And what he's doing, he's doubling down on the race card because that plays well to his base. Skip, I don't really know what Bubba needs to apologize for. The FBI came down. They said this was a noose. They didn't say it was anything else. They said it was a noose. Skip, I love the term, two things can be true. This is a noose, but the FBI also said they do not believe it was put there for hateful or intimidation type purposes. Skip, okay, just because it wasn't put there to intimidate doesn't take away from the fact of what it is. Skip, what is this? This is a pen. This is a Mont Blanc, a very expensive pen. Skip, if I were to do something, if I were to stab someone with this, it didn't change what it is. I just used it for the purpose that it wasn't intended for. That was a noose, although it wasn't used for the intentions of what it was put there for. It was a garage pull. Okay, Skip, if they want to say it's a garage pull, it's a garage pull. But the FBI also said, Skip, it was a noose. What is transpiring, Skip, is that the black movement, the Black Lives Matter, and a lot of the white population have come on board with this. And he's doubling down on the Confederate statue. Skip, that's our history. Really? Knowing what the Confederacy said, Skip, they believed that they were superior to the black race. And they said that the slaves should be that for perpetuity. That was the only reason they fought the North. They fought it for no other reason, slavery, and to keep blacks oppressed. That's it. And now now he wants monuments up there. Oh, these brave. No, they didn't. Skip, if you want to put Eisenhower, the great generals that fought in World War I and World War II, where are their statues? If you want to put them up, okay, have at it, Skip, because they fought for all of America, not just the Confederate. I'm confused, Skip. I thought he loved winners. He's a winner. He's winning. I thought he liked winners. Does he realize that the South lost? They lost. And so what he's doing, Skip, he's going back to his playbook because the plays that he used last time, what it won him? It won him the presidency. So, Skip, I'm always going to go back to the plays that won the game, that won games for me. Tom Brady has plays that he believes in. Remember, Skip, we had when Pat Mahomes was mic'd up in the Super Bowl. He goes to the sideline. He says, Coach, what about that play? What about that play? Well, President Trump says, hold on, what about that play? That race, it worked well for me last time. Mexico is sending them their worst. They're rapists, they're murderers, they're drug dealers. And look at these asshole countries. So and immigration is going to Skip. It's worked well for him. So let me see if it'll work again. And maybe I can shift the attention. We won't realize, and you'll become numb to over 130,000 people dead. Maybe you'll become numb to that. Maybe in the company, because he's trying to run on his economic policy. Well, Skip, if this thing shuts down again, kaput.
So, to validate what you just said, I see this as desperate act by desperate man. He is 2 weeks late to this issue because he needed something to distract with.
Right.
And I'm very happy he brought this back up because I'm not finished with it. So first of all, I want to address the word our president used, hoax. This was yet another hoax. I don't know what the other ones were, but it's like you people are at it again.
Right. Well, the Mueller investigation, the Russia thing was a hoax.
Okay. This was not a hoax.
No.
The FBI confirmed there was a noose hanging in that garage. And if we could see that noose, I just want to remind everyone once again, this is courtesy of NASCAR. They were transparent enough and they were out ahead of this enough. They showed us the noose.
Right.
When I first heard about this, I pictured a baby noose, like a little hand noose where you could get a better grip on it to pull the door down.
Right.
But no, it wasn't a baby noose. It was a legitimate, full-on, authentic, hang-em-high noose.
Yes.
Right?
That's what it is.
One that could be adjusted to fit around your neck.
Correct.
Am I correct about that? So why that would be, I don't know. So this is what I cannot get through my skull. This is what sticks in my craw. The FBI concluded that it surveyed 1,684 garages across 29 NASCAR tracks around this country of ours, including the 43 garage stalls at Talladega that are in question here.
Right.
1,684 garage stalls, and they found only one hanging noose to be used as a quote-unquote door pull, okay? Help me out. The odds on this are astronomical. It's billions to one that when Bubba Wallace, the lone African-American driver, goes to Talladega, the odds of him actually being assigned to that garage are beyond coincidence because it's beyond chance, it's beyond fate. It's impossible that he got assigned to that garage. You can say in the past they've done it on order of money winning, but there are new points now. Because of COVID and they're trying to social distance the drivers, there was a new way to assign. Well, help me out. If this noose had been hanging since last October in that garage, I got two big issues. Why wouldn't anybody at Talladega in charge, anybody in the garage area, say, time out? Well, what is that?
Exactly.
It's not a baby noose. It's not like a handle noose. It's a legitimate noose is hanging in that one garage stall. So how, I ask our president, how did Bubba get assigned to that garage stall? There are 43 there at Talladega. What are the odds? Help me out. Isn't it billions to one?
Skip, even if that's the case, why not say, you know what? Man, Bubba, news, black. Man, let me take this down before somebody sees this.
Okay.
That's what you think the logical thinking would be.
Somebody in charge at Talladega would say, hey, wait a second. What are we doing here?
Thank you.
So Bubba didn't find the news. One of his mechanics named David Crops, who happens to be African-American also, first walked into the garage and said, what? And according to Bubba, then he took a tour of the whole garage area, all 43 stalls, just to make sure that, were there like maybe 8 or 10 of these? Is that just the new way at Talladega?
Correct.
And of course, he found zero other ones. What conclusion would you arrive at?
Yeah, it's a noose.
And it's in your stall? Okay. And Bubba's the lone black driver, so help me out. What's going on here?
Well, Skip, in order for Bubba to have to issue an apology, Bubba would have had to put the noose there. Bubba would have
like he put it, if he planted the noose to gain sympathy, you got him. You got him.
But Bubba didn't see it. Skip, Bubba didn't see it. They told Bubba about it. And so the FBI went down there and
so the FBI concluded he did not plant the noose because it had been hanging there since last October.
And the FBI made it abundantly clear it was a noose.
Okay, it was a noose. So he has to apologize for what? Is he still not a victim of this? You can say it wasn't a hate crime, but was he still not a victim of somehow being assigned to one of 43 stalls that had a noose as a door pull?
And Skip, also, he's still doubling down on the Confederate flag. Oh, NASCAR took the Confederate flag. Skip, even Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is from South Carolina. Now, Lindsey Graham, all the things that he said about President Trump when they were both running for the presidency, he backed off, and now he's become one of President Trump's staunchest supporters.
Okay.
And he said NASCAR is trying to grow its business. It's hard to grow a business with that flag. Now, Skip, if you just want to appeal to a certain group, keep it. But NASCAR says, you know what? We got to find some new fans. We got to get we got to broaden our audience. And that's what they're trying to do. Well, it's hard to get open-minded people, blacks, open-minded whites, to come join in when they see the Confederate flag and they know what that flag represents. So, Skip, anybody, and I saw under Bubba's timeline, they still call him Jesse Smollett, and they still say you're a fraud and all that stuff. Skip, if you do not understand that the FBI concluded this was a noose, although they also came to the conclusion that it wasn't placed there for hateful or intimidative purposes, unless you're deliberately and purposefully trying not to understand and see that, Skip, I don't really know what else to say.
Okay.
Because if you refuse to see that that is a noose, that's what it is. The FBI called it that. Just because they said it was a noose and it wasn't placed there for purposes, intimidation purposes, that doesn't change what it is, Skip. How do people not see that unless you're deliberately trying not to?
Okay, so he wasn't directly a victim of a hate crime.
Right.
But this has to fall into the category of passive-aggressive racism or subtle racism, or look the other